Hello, this is BlueStar, Defender of Equestria, and this is my PonyCon 2016 Day 2 and 3 video. And I like Princess Celestia, but she's watching me. So I better be good. Yes, I still haven't decided if they're gonna stay for future videos or not. But anyway, so yes, so yeah, so I did actually attempt to record a Day 2 video. It actually went okay, sort of, but there were definitely times where it's like, oh no, I completely forgot what happened at this panel, and I just simply felt I needed to do it again. So I'm gonna combine Days 2 and 3. So. Oh dear, so get comfy, this could be a long one. Excuse me. So yes, yes. Oh yes, I am wearing these noise-canceling headphones because they simply help me to focus and in short, just helps me to record better, so anyway. So yes, so, but first I have to start with the story that's something that happened during one of the panels, where, long story short, at the end of one of the panels, two representatives from Forward Operating Base Equestria come out and present these coins to, Lauren Faust and Bonnie Zaccarelli, I think that's how it's pronounced. The original, obviously the creator of the current generation and the creator of the first generation of My Little Pony, for obviously everything they've done for the show and everything. So yo-ho. And afterwards, it's like I finally got up the courage to actually go up to one of the FOB Equestria guys and and just say, I think you guys are awesome. I appreciate everything you do. Yo-ho. Yes, and yeah, but then I also said, it's like even though I'm just a wannabe and holding my silly Royal Guard helmet and everything, and the guy said to me, it's like, it doesn't matter whether you wear the uniform or not, just as long as you serve as best as you can. It's like, yes, I will certainly try my best, and I like to call myself Defender of Equestria. And then he said, it's like, continue to do that. It's like, or something to do, or something along those lines. It's like, yeah, it's like, because this is almost a whole video in itself, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, that on the short, that made me feel so much better. And of course, there are many ways of serving and everything, but I really appreciate the people in the military for serving and doing everything they do. So yo-ho. So yeah, so I think I'm gonna end that there before this goes somewhere where I would sort of in a way like to go, but for the purpose of this video, I think it's just best to end that there. So so that was in a way one of the coolest things that happened for me during this con and everything. So now I have to consult my notes because yeah, unfortunately it's like I've learned that there's a lot that goes on during these cons, and it's in a way difficult to compress everything that happened in the whole day into like a video like this. So anyway, so I'm gonna start back up on Day 2, the beginning with interview with Lauren Faust, which was it was basically just her talking with the moderator. I forget, unfortunately, who. I think it was the director of the show, but yeah, I mean, and I will say this, that I did actually get a fair amount of footage. I tried to record most of the major panels that I was at. Unfortunately, some of the video I think might require editing, or maybe I need to do something, or I simply have to go through everything, so I'm not so certain what I'm going to upload and when. And not to mention, I have so much other things that I would like to do, have to do, and all that. So I have to. So I have no idea when that stuff will be appearing. But anyway, but the good news is that there were cameras at most of the major panels, so probably might appear at some point on a YouTube channel somewhere. So anyway, but yeah, the interview with Lauren Faust was kind of interesting. It was basically, instead of like answering like pony questions, because even they said at this point Lauren Faust's answered just about every pony question there is. So they basically just went and just talked about stuff, and it primarily was a discussion about sort of like female characters and female and girl shows and those sort of stereotypes, and that like girls shows don't sell and all that. And of course, obviously My Little Pony doesn't, proves that that's not true at all, that girls shows can sell, and that guys are willing and, to go and see, to watch a show primarily full of girl characters, you know. It's like, and it must have been, in my own case, it's like, the princess says, I will follow you anywhere. I will be proud to serve and, you know, serve under you. And all that stuff. So, yeah. It's like, yeah, and I do agree. That would be a cool thing, you know, to have more. For some reason, that reminds me of the Spartan Ops thing, where it's like, where I forgot the character's name, but basically it's like, you know, these young men, Spartans and everything, get quote unquote get off the boat or something and get onto the big ship or whatever it is, and they run into this woman, and they start, and the main guy just starts talking. It's like, you know, trying to I guess flirt with her, and then at some point it's like the woman says, like, oh, you run a Spartan team? Oh, how nice for you. I command all the Spartan teams on the Infinity. It's like, nice going, guys. You just tried to flirt with your CEO and commanding officer of not just your team, but everyone's team. Nice going. But okay, that's definitely getting off track. But anyway, the point is that I wouldn't object. I would be willing to follow a female commander. No one else has a problem with that either. So, I'd like to see that happen more often. You know, female commanders and female leaders and female heroes. That'd be great. That'd be awesome. So that was basically that interview and everything. And unfortunately, I'm sorry that went off track that way. But anyway, anyway, so let's move on. The singing voices of My Little Pony concert. That was fun. That was kind of cool. Unfortunately, they was explicitly said that you can't bring any kind of video or audio equipment of any kind. It's like anybody, because I was filming. Because, I'm going to bounce around a little bit here, but it's like, the thing that I do kind of like about this con is that you can just walk into one of these cons or this place or everything, and there won't be massive lines or anything, and it's kind of nice. And in some ways, it's also kind of bad, because it means that sometimes there can be traffic between two cons that kind of can be noisy and all that stuff. But, so after, there was a big gap between the last panel and the singing voices panel, so I decided to sort of catch the last sort of few minutes of a rock band, sort of like a My Little Pony rock band. I think it was the Shakeups in Ponyville, I think was their name. And I was recording, that, and one of the con staff comes up and says, okay, it's okay for you to record this panel, but you can't record the next one. It's like, oh, okay. It's like, okay, officer, I understand. And everything was sort of, it's like, and everything. And I also asked that guy, because on the map, is that it says that sort of like, there's sort of in the grand hall, ballroom, or whatever it was called, there's basically a number of levels, and there's 2 levels of sort of like balconies. And on the first level balcony, which is sort of the second floor, or was it the third? No, it was the third floor. It's a confusing thing, but anyway, the point is that sort of on the balcony level, it says, Celestial and Diamond seating, reserved seating, basically for like the 2 highest level packages. But it's only up until a certain point, so there was actually a fair number. There was a few seats that you could sit up in the balcony, and it was a perfect place to record. At least I thought it was. I mean, at least it had a good angle, but unfortunately, it was also quite noisy up there from time to time, too. So, but I did ask the guy, was it okay for me to sit here and film? It's like, oh, yeah, sure. It's like, yeah, just don't sit over there. It's like, don't whatever, basically, whatever. Okay, so I'm rambling on, and I'm losing focus and everything. So anyway, so that was cool. So I went to the Singing Voices of My Little Pony concert. It was fun. I have a feeling the reason they didn't want anybody to film or record anything was because they did sing a number of copyrighted songs and everything. So maybe they wanted to avoid trouble with that. But whatever. It's like, it was cool though. And Lena Hall was there, and she sang, The Magic Inside of You. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I so wish I could have recorded that. That would have been so cool. It was cool. That was just cool. It's like, yeah. So I think after that, I just bounced around probably the vendor hall for a while. One thing I don't like about this particular con is that you can't bring outside food, particularly because on this day, on the second day, the restaurant that they advertised and everything was unfortunately closed. Why, I don't know, and that really didn't make me feel good at all. So yeah, that yeah. Fortunately, I snuck in a few sort of like protein bar things or something. So yeah, it's like I do have to say, in general, this con doesn't seem to be, doesn't seem to have its act together all that well. It's like panels appear to be generally start 10 minutes late, and they end 10 minutes early. So yeah, like I looked at my video of the voice actor panel, and it's like it's 40 minutes long. It should have been an hour. But later on I thought, well, maybe there's a maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe the reason is that, those 10 extra minutes will give you time to get from one panel to the other, because that's the problem. Like if you have a panel that ends at 2:30 but the next panel starts at 2:30, unless you're Twilight and you can teleport yourself across the con, you're kind of out of luck or something. So maybe that's the reason. But yeah, it did get frustrating in a lot of the times. Because yeah, that was the thing with the singing voices panel, was that it definitely, I think it opened at least 15 minutes late because they were still rearranging things and everything. But yeah, so I'm unimpressed with how the con was run, to be honest. But don't know the full story and everything, but yeah, but I unfortunately had to say that anyway. So yeah, so anyway, so the next panel was the character development with Lord Foss, which was, she basically described sort of in a way how the characters were developed. It's like sort of where they the short answer is that a lot of them were actually based off of G1 characters, or even specific G1 characters. Yeah, but unfortunately, I don't know. I didn't really see Generation 1, and I remember as a kid, I saw a few episodes of My Little Pony from time to time, but I didn't really know it at all. So I really don't know anything about the previous generations. But anyway, so yeah, so that was vaguely interesting. And the last panel that I attended on day 2 was Cosplay for Confidence, which was fun, with Brass Knuckles, basically the female version of Iron Will and everything. Yeah, she's cool. I like her. She's cool. Because she had previous panel. I think it may have been on, I don't remember when it was. It was either on Saturday or Monday or whatever. It was either on day 1 or 2 or something, where it's like, yeah, it was basically general confidence stuff and everything. It would have been basically sort of an Iron Will kind of a thing, and she's cool. And that was kind of an interesting panel. I was gonna kind of record that, but I think I didn't. I felt like I didn't really want to, and not to mention my batteries were low. My batteries were dead and everything, so that was a bit of a problem too. So yeah, but yeah, I like that panel. It's just sort of it sort of took elements from her previous panel, which are, it's basically accept yourself and all those things, and and those sort of confidence building kind of things. There's also that, you can take elements of all the of all your cosplay costumes and everything, and and wear them in ordinary life. Like, for example, I could wear this shirt, which is basically my Blue Star shirt and everything, and all that stuff, and use those elements and even in ordinary life and everything. So that's cool. And I must admit, on sort of a similar note, just a second. It's just yes. Unfortunately, I forgot, because unfortunately it was also really, really, really cold during during Saturday and everything. So yeah, so that wasn't fun at all. So I had to wear this. Basically, it was like, I like to call this look Flak Armor Blue Star, because this thing vaguely looks like a flak jacket. So yes. So what the heck with that. So yeah. So. Ow. So yeah, so anyway. So enough of that. I was going to wear that, unfortunately, at the beginning, but unfortunately I forgot. So anyway, enough of that. So yeah, because it was cold, even in the, because it was really cold outside and everything. So, yeah. Yeah, so that was the other reason why the restaurant closing didn't make me happy, because I heard some people was like, well, you know what, let's go try find a deli or something. It's like, I really don't want to be walking out in this kind of cold in the middle of Brooklyn without knowing where the heck I'm going. I don't want to do that. No. So yeah. So and I was going to go to this panel, Living with a Tantipus on MOP and Sobriety. Which sounded like it was one of these panels where this guy took the Tantipus and used it, and used the show in general to help him get out of his alcoholism and everything. And I thought that would have been cool, but unfortunately, that was from 8 to 9 p.m., so it was going to end at 9. So I, with an hour drive home, probably would have ended up home at like 10:30, and I didn't really want to do that. So that would have been cool, though. That was so my kind of thing. I was like, I love the Tantabus, the Dream World, and everything, and I just so do love it when people can take the show for 6-year-olds and use it to help themselves and everything. Yo-ho! This is why the show and everything it stands for is worth defending! Mwahaha! Yes! And it's like, interestingly, Dr. Wolf and Josh Scorcher did a video where basically they did, a video sort of defending why the morals are worth, being critical of and worth caring about. And that, and one of the points that somebody had used to try to basically say, well, basically, adults shouldn't be learning from children's shows. Why not? What difference does it make? And as they said, it's like, what, people aren't perfect. People, sometimes, the short answer is sometimes even adults need the same kind of lessons that a 6-year-old does. Or maybe we need to be reminded of a lesson that we learned when we were 6 or something. But, it's like, and it's basically, if this helps this person get out of something like alcoholism, who cares? It's like, who cares if it was written for 6-year-olds? What difference does it make? So anyway, yes, so, gonna move, so, yeah. I mean, the second day was kind of interesting, but it was also kind of exhausting at the same time, because, I remember at one point just, like, trying to find a nice, quiet place at the con, and basically recharge both my camera batteries and my own batteries at the same time, and just like just go to sleep a little bit. I remember. I did also have a nice chat with a guy in the Pony Traveling Museum, or was it the traveling? I think it's the Traveling Pony Museum. But anyway, he had several molds and sort of wax forms of the original, that were made to make the original My Little Pony toys, and listened to him for a while and talk, and we listened to him, describe the process of, making the mold of like the Super Bastard and the Bastard and like the production copies and everything. It's like, oh my gosh, I had no idea there was like so many molds and so much stuff. And as an engineering type person, I found that kind of interesting. So and there was some cool stuff there as well. Cool. So overall, day 2 was okay. I mean, it definitely had some really cool moments in it. So it was cool. I liked it. So, and then, so moving on to day 3, it's like started off with the Stallion perspective. Basically, all the 3 main male voice actors, basically the guy who does, it's like basically the guy who does Flash Sentry, I like Flash Sentry. He's okay. And his voice actor's pretty cool. And his, all these guys do a number of different characters and everything. Yeah, Vincent Strong. He's the guy. I'm pretty sure that was the name of the guy who did Flash Sentry. He does a number of characters, and I like him. He sounds like a cool guy. He's cool. And again, I like Flash Sentry. He's not my favorite character, to be honest, but he's okay. I don't hate him the way that other people do. He's all right. Anyway, and then the guy who does Big Mac and the guy who does Shining Armor, so I think also, again, the director of My Little Pony and the voice director as well was there too. It was kind of interesting. It did get kind of immature at times, and unfortunately, my microphone had a malfunction, and sadly, while I have the video, there's no audio, so sorry, won't be airing that one unless you can read lips or something. I don't know. It happens. But anyway, so yeah. That was sort of interesting, and that panel was sort of interesting, because you got to hear a little bit about like the voice acting and stuff, and also mention a little bit about like the characters and what they think of the characters and stuff. It was sort of interesting. I don't know. I think the one big interesting thing from that one was that basically it's like people say, oh, do you want more male characters in the show? And they basically made the point of that, you know what, you want to see male characters in a show, you've got your pick, because you know what, there's just bazillions of shows out there with bazillions of god characters. If that's what you want, you can go just watch whatever show. This is a show written primarily for 6-year-old girls and little girls and stuff. So, and this is a show where the female characters get to triumph and everything, and they get to be the heroes, and that's cool. I mean, it would be nice for the royal guard to win once in a while, but you know what? But still, it's like, because the short answer is that, women have had an eternity, basically, of watching basically guys prevail, and in some cases them just being shoved to the corner. So you know what? This is the one show where they get to prevail, and in some cases shove the guys to the corner. So that's okay, I guess. But the good news is I don't think the show is intending to shove the guys into the corner or anything like that. But anyway, so that was an interesting point, but still, time to move on, I guess. So yeah, the singing voices of MLP was vaguely interesting. It's like, this is when I was trying to record off the balcony, and I was having real problems hearing, to be honest. It's like, I don't know if the volume was really low or it was just noisy or both, but they didn't really say anything too remarkable or anything at that point. So dear. So I didn't really enjoy that one. And then animating ponies with Flash, it's like, at first I thought, oh, it'll be so cool. But unfortunately, I got there kind of late and everything, so I didn't actually get to sit at a computer or anything. And I started watching it, and I started realizing that, wait a minute, I actually know most of this already, because I did a minor in computer graphics in college, so I know the very, very basics of animating with Flash. And obviously, that's what you started off with. And then the cut to a part, it's like, well, I'll give you a few minutes to try this yourself. And then it's like, yeah, there's no point in me staying here. I can go find something else to do or something, or go recharge my batteries or something. So, yes, I didn't really stick around for that panel, which perhaps I should have. I mean, I think it would be cool, and I probably will try to learn how to animate with Flash at some point, maybe, because that would certainly be very useful. But, oh dear. But yeah, it's like, yeah. Yeah, so I think from then on, I just sort of just walked around the con, just like bouncing around the vendor areas and places and everything. So yeah. Yeah, then the next panel was behind the scenes of My Little Pony production and everything. That was a sort of interesting panel. The thing is, I've been to panels like this sort of before, so I've sort of heard everything that they have to say here with these, so that was okay. And again, I had problems kind of hearing, and it's really noisy up on that second floor balcony and everything, because yeah, unfortunately, I mean, that's the nice thing about that balcony is that you can sit with your friends and chat a little bit, and you won't be feeling quite like you're talking during the panel. But yeah, but obviously it made it a little bit difficult to record, and there was also people like setting up like a banquet or something over there, and so there was like plates rattling and stuff. So yeah, that was a bit of a problem, but oh well. So then the social ramifications of being a brony and inversion paradox. I actually missed most of that panel, because I think at this point it's like I was sort of like I don't know what to do now. It's sort of because it's sort of like I've seen, it's like to quote another line from Babylon 5, it's like, everything we plan to do, we've done. It's like at that point, it's at day 3. I've seen pretty much all of the con that there is to see. I mean, it's not a very big place. I've been to pretty much every place in the vendor hall, probably a couple times already. I've, it's like everything, all the really good panels I've kind of already been to. It's like everything I planned to buy, I've already bought. It's like, there's no point in me staying here. It's almost like I almost want to pack up and go home at this point. And in some cases, that might have been not such a terrible thing. But yeah, but more on that a little bit later. But yeah, but anyway, I did catch sort of like the end of this panel, and I actually got up and did talk a little bit, and I actually was probably in my own camera for once. So that was cool. I guess. I mean, there wasn't actually that many people there, but yo-ho. But yeah, I mean, that was a pretty cool panel, because this was basically, in a way, it's one of these panels of, why is being a brony, why should you let it become a problem? It's like, you should, like, the guy is basically, he's in high school, and he just starts wearing all the My Little Pony shirts and all that stuff, and basically not being afraid to wear the shirts and just, and everything. And, it's like, it was sort of that kind of panel, and talking about people's experiences being a brony and everything. So yo-ho. And that was I kind of liked that panel. That was cool. The next panel was the voice acting workshop. This was kind of a cool and a not cool thing to me, because we actually got to listen to the voice director of My Little Pony, and I actually asked a question. It's like, unfortunately, it's like, I'm a YouTuber, and how do you, what kind of tips would you give to, like, improve people's audio recording or something? Because unfortunately, that's what I kind of was expecting and wanted to get out of this panel, is like talk to an actual voice director. It's like, how to improve my own recordings and everything. Unfortunately, I probably should not have mentioned YouTube, because he just didn't describe viral videos and then said, it's like, well, you know what? There's a whole bunch of people out there and on YouTube and stuff who think that, they're all that and everything. And it's like, oh, I know he's not directly addressing me, but it's like, but yeah, it's like, I feel that way, because yeah, I mean, people who've been around my channel, though, I've attempted to do voice acting, sort of. I mean, it's like, unfortunately, I am definitely not a voice actor. I mean, I try to have some fun with doing voices, but yeah, like one time I quote unquote attempted to do Princess Celestia's voice, and in the end, I don't think I did anything. Darn it. What can I say? I'm not a voice actor and I'm not a girl. So, and unfortunately, it's like, I don't, and it seemed like a good idea at the time. Bummer. So yeah, that didn't make me feel good at all. So, because yeah, I like his expression that he has. It's like, it's because everyone and their dog will submit, a tape or something. So, because yeah, I mean, people think that voice acting is an easy job, and it's not. It's very hard, It's like, yeah, it can be a lot of fun. Even he says, it's like, because he goes on for basically saying, like, if you want to be a voice actor, you got to basically, it's like it's like any acting gig. It's like, you got to get an agent, you got to deal with rejection, you got to just submit things, and you got to have range and be able to do a whole bunch of things and stand out from the crowd and everything and those sorts of things that, but at the end he says, like, I hope I haven't, put any of you off, because I like him, and that he's not, he's trying to help people, but at the same time, he's going to tell it the way it is, that, that it's, being an actor of any kind is a rough job, and that, you just got to be prepared for what you're getting into, because otherwise you probably shouldn't get into it to begin with. But yeah, that panel was interesting. Then people went on and learned and talked about, like, how to become a voice actor. What should you do? What should you get into? How, and all those sorts of things. But yeah, that was cool. I mean, yeah. So I think I kind of liked that panel, but I did kind of feel bad about the way it started, I guess. But oh well, I think I just took that too personally and everything. But no, he's a cool guy. I like him. So yeah, and it was cool to talk to not only an actual voice director, but one of the big ones in the business. So and I keep forgetting that part. I mean, it's so weird for me. It's like, I keep forgetting that these are the people who make the show. And everything, it's like, that sounds really weird, but yeah, but anyway, so yeah. Because, yeah, so anyway, yeah, I was going to stay for the closing ceremony, because I never get to stay for the closing ceremony, because, unfortunately, like, at BronyCon, it's like, I got a 5.5 hour drive home, so I can't stay till 5:30, I'll end up home at, like, 11 o'clock, and I don't want to do that, so, yeah, and I have a note in my little BronyCon folder, it's like, 90% chance, take the Monday off, it's like, so I could have a whole day to just sort of rest, relax, and in a way, recover from BronyCon and everything, which is sort of how I felt after this con a little bit too. So, because yeah, it was snowing reasonably heavily. So I look out the window, and unfortunately, it's snowing quite heavily. So, excuse me. I know that I cannot stay. I need to get out of here. It's like, there's no reason to stay for the closing ceremonies. It's time to get out of here. So yeah, so basically packed up all my stuff and got in the car, and unfortunately it took an hour and a half to get home, but fortunately to get home safe and sound, so everything was cool, so it was unfortunately a kind of a abandoned ship kind of situation, so which didn't really make me feel so good, but oh well. But yeah, so that was basically the ending of PonyCon 2016, and and all throughout day 3, Now, it made me kind of sad, because even though I was kind of tired and kind of like, I'm sort of like, I sort of want to go home, but at the same time, it's also really sad to see the con closing down, to seeing like the items in the museum being packed up one by one, to seeing the vendor hall being closed down and people, packing up their stuff and ready to go home. It's always kind of sad and everything, but it's just because these cons are just so cool, because you get to be who and what you are, or who and what you would want to be. And yeah, one other thing is, like, I saw someone in a very nice Princess Celestia outfit. Oh my gosh, that was awesome. I definitely have to upload some pictures of that later, but probably not any time soon, to be honest. But yeah, it's just such a cool atmosphere where you can just dress up however you want and all that. So I really like that, and it's just it's a lot of fun. It can be very tiring and exhausting, because unfortunately there's a lot to do, and and sometimes you just feel like you don't get a break sometimes, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, I was glad to be, as I like to say at the end of BronyCon last year, it's like, I was glad to be going home, but I was also sad to leave. And so yeah, that was in a way sort of how, it's been sort of how this summarizes this. It's been a weird thing for me with this con. It's like parts of me really liked it and parts of me really didn't like it, because yeah, it wasn't run as well as I would have expected. And I do have to say that the place itself was way outclasses us. Oh my gosh, it really does. It's really nice. My gosh. Again, did they know who hired the place? But anyway, yeah. But yeah, because there were parts of it that were very noisy. It just didn't feel like the con itself had its act together. But otherwise, but there were still panels and things that I enjoyed, and it was cool to just, just in a way, be in the world of Pony for just 3 days. And that was cool. Yeah. It's like, yes, I was in a pony state of mind. I guess, sort of a thing, I don't know. So yeah, again, so yeah, so I'm almost gonna give this panel in a way a neutral grade. It wasn't great, it wasn't bad, it was somewhere in the middle. And it was okay. I'm sort of undecided about if I'm gonna go to PonyCon 2017 next year. And maybe if I might even attempt to submit some kind of panel. Possibly, that would be interesting, because this year I wanted to, obviously I want to it's like it was an information gathering mission, like how big is this con, like how many people are there, how does this work, and everything. I always like to do that the first time before I go and like try to submit a panel to somewhere or something like that, because and that was another thing I did like about it. It was a smaller con, but that was almost what was good about it, that it was not, it wasn't like, you didn't feel like there was massive amounts of people there. You felt like you could get closer up to the guests, and you could actually interact with them on a much more personal level. Where, like at BronyCon, you'll sit in the main hall and you'll feel like you're 1.5 miles away from the guests, and it's like, I think I could see them or something, And yeah, but here you feel like you could almost, just go up and talk to them almost. Not quite, of course, but but still, I definitely, in some ways liked this atmosphere a little bit better than I liked BronyCon, but again, overall, this was, I guess, a neutral grade. So I enjoyed it. It was cool, and I did get some cool stuff and everything. Oh yeah, one more thing. He's like, yes, one last picture that I bought at BronyCon was this one. It's like, it's a nice picture of Princess Luna and Celestia. It's like, I think we need more pictures of like this one. It's like there's bazillions of pictures and stuff about the pain and everything with Nightmare Moon, but there's like nothing with like the princesses just being happy, and that's why I like these cons. It's like everyone's just being happy and just being friends and just just enjoying the love of the show and all those sorts of things, and that's what makes these cons worth going to and everything. So yeah. So I think I've rambled on this enough and everything. So, so I thank you for watching and listening. And if you've made it this far, I thank you very much. And I hope that you found it interesting. And so, and hopefully next year I might see you at next year's PonyCon. But I guess until then, as always, thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. And until next time, this is Blue Star. Stay strong and pony on. Blue Star out.